You're watching E.T.N. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob, and this video I am going old school with a Final Fantasy Let's Play. And I know a lot of you are like, but Rob, I thought you were going to do Hero Storm, and I thought you were going to do Hearthstone. And you know, it's funny, I actually have tons of footage of that, of me playing those games. I haven't gotten around to uploading it because the last week I've been really busy, and I'll get into some of what I've been doing in the last week in a second. But this is going to be a multi-discussion video because this is about 25 minutes of footage here, and this part of the game is a very opening part in a bombing mission. So I can't just talk Final Fantasy VII for the whole 25 minutes. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Jurassic World. I didn't get to do my spoiler discussion last week, and also the reason I'm playing this game is because I know there's a lot of youngsters out there who have never ever played Final Fantasy VII or have never cared to, and understandably so. As you can see, the graphics are dated and things of that nature, but it's still a very enjoyable game, and I haven't played it in a while, and I figured what better way than to at least show the game to some youngsters so they can get an idea of what we were raving about so much back in the late 90s when this game came out. Now, you wouldn't believe me by me telling you this, but these were state-of-the-art graphics at the time of this release. And obviously, it's been many, many years later, nearly 20 years now. And it's just a great game. If you guys can look beyond the pixels and the polygons, you will see that there's a great story here with some great content and a very long game. So, but I do plan to go as far as possible with it. It is a very, very time-consuming game. There's a lot of extras, there's a lot of bosses, there's a lot of spells to get, a lot of leveling, and I'm not going to show every inch of the game. I'm pretty much going to show primary quest, and then I'll fill in the gaps in between so you guys that are paying attention to the story have a good idea of what's going on. So this is the opening bombing mission. So this is what I'm going to be doing for a little while. I know the channel's been slow lately, and I'm kind of doing that on purpose. I have a lot of great videos planned, but if you can hear, and I don't know how this is going to come out on the video because this is the first time I'm doing like a vlog type video in a while. Usually I'm not as close to the mic as I am right now, but you'll hear that there's a slight echo, and I've been working on filling the wall with soundproofing foam, and I still have a little bit to go. I bought some more foam over the weekend, and that's one of the main reasons. I kind of want to kill that. The other reason is because there's other things I'm working on that I'd rather show you guys come July than just kind of announce it. Some of you who are very close to me know exactly what that is. I've spoken to some of you guys about that, but it's a very few. I think I might have told 2 people, maybe 3 people. So and they kind of like where it's going. So, and they've been subscribers for a very long time. So I'm hoping that the majority of the people will enjoy it as well. But that's what's gonna that's how it's gonna be for the remainder of the week until next week when July hits. I will still do Final Fantasy VII. You'll probably see a lot of it this week, and then it'll slow down next week as I start to implement the other videos I've had planned. And you know, you guys, I'm sure if you saw my Game of Thrones video and if you saw my Jurassic World review, you'll notice that there is a sort of echoey sound in this room. So I did those 2 videos because for me that was mandatory. I mean, I'm doing a movie review for a major movie release and the finale episode for a series that I've been reviewing for this is the 2nd year that I've been reviewing that show. So those I felt were mandatory to do. But right now there's really no shows on right now, and there's a couple of movies that I want to check out that are coming out in a couple of weeks. So I figured this is a good time to maybe do something a little bit different while I prepare for a little bit of what I have planned for July going forward. So but let's get into Jurassic World. I know there's some of you that are here because that's what you wanted me to discuss, and I figured that's a good topic to discuss while I'm doing a let's play on this classic game. You know, one of the things I didn't mention during my review that I get to mention now, because I guess you want to consider this my late spoiler discussion, is one thing I loved about the movie was how they handled the Velociraptors. Because if you guys have been following my videos prior to that, you'll know that one of my biggest concerns of that movie was, oh my god, are they gonna have trained raptors? Is that even possible? I mean, we don't know, blah blah blah. And I like that they showed it in such a way where they weren't necessarily trained, they just had a lot of respect for Chris Pratt's character. And furthermore, they also showed that Chris Pratt is still very much vulnerable when he's with them. It's not like it's a shoo-in. They can flip on him whenever they want because they may respect him, but I'm sure they clearly see he is human. They are not. So that's one thing I did love about the movie. They handled that aspect of the Raptors and the relationship very well, and that was something I really liked a lot. Really liked it a lot. You know, when we talk about the ending, to me that was one of the biggest payoffs. I mean, like I said, I'm a kaiju fan, I'm a big monster fan, so to see the dinosaurs brawling like that was just phenomenal to watch. And I know I didn't give it a great review. I know a lot of you guys were very disappointed. You guys thought I love it, and I just I don't, you know, it's funny. It's not, I don't hate the movie. I don't hate the movie. I'm very much going to buy it on Blu-ray, and I'll probably watch it a dozen times. But I was expecting, I shouldn't say expect, because of what Spielberg had accomplished back in the early 90s, I had such high expectations for this movie that maybe it's my fault. Maybe it couldn't do no good in my eyes, but in some ways it did do better than the first movie. I mean, it provided certain sequences and certain action elements that the first movie did not. And that's one thing that it should really clout on, because those aspects of the movie I thought were just great. But when you do the little thing, and it's almost like I felt about Interstellar. Interstellar had a very similar feeling, although Interstellar had a much better story. Interstellar, at moments, I was at awe with that movie. I was like, God, this is so great. This is wonderful, blah, blah, blah. But then they would do certain things in between those moments that just brought me down. And it was such a downer when it happens that it takes me out of the movie. It takes me out of the story. Jurassic World did that. For example, like I mentioned with the kids and the divorced parents, there was no need for that. That did more harm than good, in my opinion. The kids, when they were in the sphere, and one of the scenes I was looking forward to the most, which was a beautiful scene in terms of the dinosaurs and the kids and the sphere and all that. But then I'm thinking to myself, wow, well, they control the sphere. And on top of that, not only do they control it, but the kid drives off-road. It's like, I mean, first of all, this is dumb. This is dumb. People can say, oh, well, those are kids, you know. No, look. Okay, 9 times out of 10, in a world full of dinosaurs, a kid is not going to be that dumb. Okay, I mean, the kids do dumb things, but I just can't see, and maybe it's just me. Maybe I give some kids too much credit. Maybe kids are that dumb. But I know if it were me, and I generally don't fear many things, I would no way, shape, or form take the sphere and go into the forest when there's a warning sign going on to return. No way. And that's another thing I thought I was stupid to write in the story. I mean, it's one thing, it's like I said in my review, I can see corporations making dumb ass decisions to send people and build another park because money, when it comes to corporations, it's all about the money. They quickly forget the consequences. So I can see that, but it just takes it another step further to take that and then allow people to control their own ride with no security and no supervision. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. And it's dumb things like that that took me out. You know what I mean? It took me out of it, you know, but like I said, and that for me, it was a roller coaster ride. There were moments that I looked at the movie and I was like, my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread and butter. But then there were moments that I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Who wrote this crap? So, you know, and that's why I had to bring the score down. That's just how it is. And I know there were a lot of people very butthurt about that, and then a lot of people comparing it to Godzilla, which I thought was interesting because I never even brought up Godzilla. And there's 2 completely different movies. I know people are gonna say, no, they're very similar. No. These are dinosaurs, which are significantly smaller than kaiju and actually existed. Godzilla is a fantasy monster that is 300 feet tall and has never existed. So, big difference there. A big difference. Maybe some people want to say the premise is the same. I guess if you want to argue that, but I mean, the stories were completely different. And for those people who don't pay attention, okay, I said from day one, even when I was strucken by seeing the movie for the first time, I still said the story wasn't great and that Ford Brody, Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, was utter crap. So, you know, people seem to forget that despite how much I loved Godzilla, I kind of loved Godzilla for the same reasons. I loved it because the ending was a huge payoff, and every time the big guy was on screen, it was phenomenal to watch. But the story was flat. But seeing Godzilla for the first time in that way, compared to how we've seen him prior, it's gonna be a big impact. Bigger than Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, because Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, while obviously the special effects in Jurassic World were better, they weren't that much better to have that big of an impact. Where you take the last Godzilla movie, Final Wars, comparing it to G14, and there's a significant increase in production there. So it's gonna have a bigger impact. I don't understand if people don't comprehend. Maybe it doesn't affect people that way, but that's where opinions are born. That's where things change. That's where people have their own thoughts. So I know there are people out there, I don't know if they were trying to get me to get mad or rave. Oh, this is better than Godzilla. This is by far better than Godzilla. That's fine. If you think it's better than Godzilla, then good. I even said in the video, don't give a fuck about what I say. I'm not a professional critic. I'm just a dude from Boston that likes to do YouTube videos for a hobby. You gonna take what I have to say for word? Don't get upset about my opinion. I'm just stating my opinion. Some people value my opinion and like to hear it. Some people don't. But the fact of the matter is, two different movies. If I had to break it down now, which one do I enjoy more than the other? That's hard to say. I enjoy Godzilla more than Jurassic World for certain reasons, and there's probably some elements of Jurassic World I enjoy better than Godzilla. Obviously, Jurassic World had more action. It would have been nice to have more action in Godzilla, but it didn't affect me to the point that I was disappointed with what I saw. I was more disappointed with the story and the performance of some of the actors outside of Bryan Cranston and Juliette Binoche, who only lasted for, what, 15 minutes? Ken Watanabe, his performance was okay. I mean, I like him as an actor. He's just a cool dude. I see him like, yes, this is cool. I really can't criticize him. But yeah, I mean, he didn't do too much outside of that. But two completely different movies. Jurassic World is a very fun movie. I mean, it is a fun movie. If you like dinosaurs, and if you liked the other Jurassic Park movies, you'll like Jurassic World. I'm not trying to tell people not to go see it. That would be irresponsible as someone who is critiquing a movie, because every movie is for somebody. If it doesn't matter how bad or good it is, that's why I said, if you like dinosaurs, if you like the other Jurassic Park movies, you will like this movie. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have elements about it that just suck. They do. There are some areas that suck in this movie. But it delivers on action. Some of the characters were very flat outside of Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. And you know, there's certain little story elements that were unnecessary. There were certain decisions about how the park is run from a story perspective that were very poor. And I've given examples of all that. Now, there is that scene with the woman and the pteranodons that just, to me, was one of the best scenes in the movie. And I'll tell you why. It's because it's almost sometimes, unless it's a horror movie, it's very rare to see a female character, whether it's a primary character or just a character that's, you know, secondary, to just be brutally murdered or killed like that. And the amazing thing is the impact it had on some people who saw that part, and there was no blood. That's what's amazing, and that's why it's one of my favorite scenes. Not because I seen a woman get mutilated, it's because it delivered that impactful feeling for the moment without being gory. Because I was like, damn, that's just fucked up. I mean, there's gory movies that just do brutal things to women, and you're like, yeah, whatever. But for some reason, the way this woman was just toyed around with by these dinosaurs was just sad to watch. And the amazing thing is to have them accomplish that without you feeling, without showing any gore, I thought was great. So, you know, the movie was fun. I had fun watching it. There were just times it took me out of it, and I have to take that into account. I have to hold the film accountable for that. And again, that's just my opinion. There might have been people who cried when the kid cried and talking about his parents' divorce, and it impacted them. That's fine. Everybody reacts differently. For me personally, I thought it was dumb. I thought it was stupid shit. The kids had no effect on me. The kids, to me, were probably one of the worst two characters in the movie. Definitely not like the kids in the original. I mean, a lot of people want to say, oh, well, you know, they're just as annoying as the other kids or whatever, whatever. It's a different annoyance, though. Like, when the kid's running around and all like that, I feel like smacking them. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Where in the first movie, the little boy was annoying in a kind of cute way, like when he was following Dr. Grant around, asking him all these questions. That, to me, is a little bit cuter. It would annoy the person that's being done to, as it did annoy Dr. Grant, but that's one person being affected. This kid is running around screaming like, ah! I mean, I'm sure there was, in real life, a group of people would want to smack that kid. So I didn't like that. And his older brother was a dick. He's a dick. You know, sometimes there's a lot of movies that have villains or characters that are just dicks that you can like. I didn't like this kid. He was just a dick. He wasn't in a position from a character's perspective to like as being a dick, you know, because he is the kid's older brother. He's his only source of family there because their aunt is running around like a chicken without a head trying to run the park, and that should be the sole, in my opinion, should be the sole comfort for that young boy. Meanwhile, this kid's being a complete douche, and then he's checking out all these girls. Meanwhile, he's supposed to have a girlfriend. He's just a dick. So between him being a dick and his brother just being a crybaby, I was like, this didn't do it for me. It didn't do it for me. The other kids were much better. They were much more enjoyable to watch, and they sold their fear more. Like I said in my review, I just felt more afraid for the kids in Jurassic Park than I did for the kids in Jurassic World. If the kids in Jurassic World had been eaten, I wouldn't have given two shits. I probably would have stood up and clapped. I'm keeping it real. So that's just how it is, man. That's how I feel about the movie. I'm sorry some of you guys were upset. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. But I know some of you guys were very disappointed with the review. I guess you guys thought I would love it. And actually, there's some elements I do. I just think it's a movie that has its flaws, like any other movie. Just a lot of them. But they're so small compared to the bigger picture that we all saw, that I think some people get blinded by that. They're so into the dinosaurs, the fighting, they don't look in between the lines of all the little crappy shit that happened. But that's just my opinion again. So that's my overall thoughts on Jurassic World. Bottom line is, it's doing fantastic. That is actually wonderful news for the movie industry, wonderful news for you fans, and I'm very happy that the movie's doing well, because I do like dinosaur movies, and I do hope that if they make a sequel, they improve upon some of the elements that I felt that they didn't do well in this movie, and we'll go from there. And that's it, and we move on to other movies coming out this year. But as you can see here, this is going back to the game, because we're pushing 20 minutes now. We have about 6 minutes left in the game. Yes, and I did play this before commenting, because I wanted to, I think I couldn't see myself talking about this game for 26 minutes, to be honest with you. What you see is what you get, basically. And I'm not going to give away any of the story, because if anyone cares to watch each video I put up, they're going to want to know how the story unfolds for themselves. And it could be very different from the next game coming out, the new Final Fantasy VII that was announced last week at E3. I know a lot of people asked me to do some E3 videos, and it just kind of didn't work out that way, you know, because of the fact that I'm minimizing my videos for the month of June, because of this move that I made into the room, and because of other things I've been working on behind the scenes to improve the channel. I think this one's going to be a little bit drastic in some of my small improvements in the past. And you know, it's just a missed opportunity, basically. But for those of you who are on the nation, for those of you who I talk to here and there on a regular basis, you know that obviously Final Fantasy VII was one of the most happiest moments for me. I remember this game, I played it back in college. I was going to college in West Virginia at the time, and a buddy of mine's who worked, I forget where he worked, but it was a very bad, I went to college in West Virginia. I went for college shortly in West Virginia. It was a very, very, very open town. Like there was hard, like, you'd have to travel a couple of miles to get to a store or whatever. And I went to a junior college of West Virginia University called Potomac State, and a buddy of mine's, I sent him money, he shipped me the game because I couldn't find anywhere to buy the fucking thing, and he shipped me the game, and this is the reason why I didn't actually make it through Potomac State for one semester, and I ended up coming back to New York. So yeah, see, when I was younger, I didn't make a lot of wise decisions when it came to my schooling versus my games. So learn from my mistakes and stay in school. I did obviously eventually graduate from college many years later, and I'm happy about that. But this was the game, I guess if you want to say, dropped me out of college when I was 19, 18. And it's a classic game. For those of you young guys who might be watching this, again, there's always more to a game than graphics. I think a lot of people say that. I don't know if a lot of people say that because they truly believe that, or they say it to defend the game that they like that other people rip down. I'm gonna say, honestly, looking at this game now, it looks like shit. It does. It does. It's aged horribly. It looks so bad. But what's important is what stays the same, which is the content, which is the story, which is the amount of things you can do in this game. And that's where I would encourage you to push through what you see, because, you know, they always say never judge a book by its cover. Some of the best games in gaming history don't have the greatest graphics. They don't. The original StarCraft that came out, one of the best strategy games ever made, even at the time it came out, the graphics aren't that great. And that's one of the classic strategy games. I've always loved it. You know, when you go back and you look at the first Diablo, you know, I'm on a Blizzard kick right now, but you know, the first Diablo looks horrible. Even at the time it came out, looks horrible. You know, this game, there are plenty of other games that were just great games, and they don't look that great. They didn't even look that great when it came out. This game, however, when it first came out, this was the top notch in graphics at the time of its release. The top notch. And it's funny how far gaming and technology has come. You know, I'm very excited to see how this is going to look when it finally releases on the PS4 and eventually the Xbox One, whenever they decide to release it. I'm assuming this game's not going to come out till 2000, I want to say late 2017, early 2018, unless they've already been working on it and keeping it secret. But I cannot see them releasing this game anytime soon, because if they're remaking the whole thing, that's a lot of shit to strip down, and they're obviously going to change some things. I've heard some people are already not too excited about that. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I wish they would keep the turn-based combat, the original Japanese turn-based combat, but it looks like they're gonna go the action route from what I'm reading, and I don't mind the action route so much. You know, I played Final Fantasy, I believe it was 12 was like that, and I like that. Actually, it's another one of the Final Fantasy games I really enjoy is Final Fantasy 12. And if they went something like that, I think I'd be good. Final Fantasy 13, I hated. I hated it. I bought it at full price, and less than a week I got rid of it because I wanted to get back whatever it was I spent at the time of its highest value. It was such a disappointment for me. And it wasn't even the combat I wasn't crazy about, but primarily it was the story and how linear it was. It was like, this is fucking ridiculous. It just was not enjoyable for me. So I'm hoping they stay away from that mix. I guess the best way to get an idea of what we're gonna get from this game when it comes out is what we get from Final Fantasy 15 when that releases at some point. I believe this year or early next year, whenever it comes out. But this is going to be a very delicate remake for Square. They're either going to hit a home run with this, or it's going to flop horribly. And we'll see. We'll see how it happens. But as you can see, the first mission is over. And Cloud is talking to one of the Avalanche members, Jesse. And like I said, I'm doing this per quest and I'll be doing some of the extras too. Like, you know, when I get to them. You know, Chocobo race and stuff like that. But that stuff takes long. If I remember well, it takes really long. So I probably won't do too much of it. I'll probably show a couple of, like if I do an extra side quest, I'll show a couple of things and stuff like that. But some of them are really, this is a long ass game. you know. So, but I remember a good portion of it, so I pretty much feel I can rip through it pretty quickly. And then once I get to the end of the game, I'll probably stop recording for a little while until I get leveled high enough to fight the special bosses at the end, Emerald Weapon, Ruby Weapon, things like that. Then I'll record those matches. Those should be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see when they bring that back. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the game from what you saw. And obviously the discussion was multiple topics. So I figured for a 26-minute video, that's the right way to do it. Just talk about multiple topics and not just one thing. So, but there will be more videos up this week. As I said, things will be scarce until next week. Until then, this is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit E.T.N's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description.